Welcome back. Today we're on a bit of a field trip. Um, First time doing this, first time trying this out in public, so I'm a little nervous, but I'm sure it'll be fine. We are at the Gibson, no, it's the depot at Gibson Mills in Concord, North Carolina. It's a bit of a field trip for me. It's a little bit of a drive, but it's one of my favorite places to go for like an antique mall because it is a bit of a drive. There's a train going by, and there's a very funny story. Wait a minute. That's so funny. I'll get to the train story here in just a second, but it's literally right out in front of where I park. Maybe I'll show you in a minute. But um, so anyway, this is the largest antique store in the South, is what they say. I can't fact check that, but that is their claim. And frankly, I kind of believe it. It is 88,000 square feet. They have over 750 vendor booths set up. It's really a good time, and it is truly like an event. You come here and you kind of stay all day. You could probably stay multiple days and still not see everything. So, anyway, there's that funny side story real quickly about that train. So, again, the train tracks are directly in front of me where I am right now, and the entrance to the store or the building is back over there. And a couple of years ago, my daughter and I had come to kind of spend the day here. This is one of her favorite places, too. And as we were leaving with our arms full of stuff, we were kind of joking around with each other. Train's done. I hope that wasn't too loud, but we were joking around with each other. And as soon as we opened the front doors, the train came by and like blared its horn. I think legally it has to. They have to. They're going through a populated area, but scared the bejesus out of us. We were not expecting it, and we almost dropped everything. It was very funny, but a little brief history, very brief history about this store facility building. Building, that's the word I'm thinking of. It was built in 1899 as like a textile factory. They would do colored yarns, gingham print, fabrics, sheets, that kind of towels, I think, that kind of thing. And it ran until 2003 when it shut down. And then it was reopened as the antique mall store building. So that's what it is now, and it's really an incredible facility they have. The whole thing. They have a little cantina, a little eatery in there because they want you to stay and spend your money and not leave and go somewhere else. So like to eat lunch because again, 88,000 square feet. Ideally, they want you to spend some time there. So enough jibber jabbering, enough dilly dallying. Let's go see what we can see. And do a voiceover for this video. The store had music playing, and while it was a lot of really great music, I don't want to get copyrighted. This first item was labeled as being an Egyptian window with doors and bars and was listed for $975. Ironically, the music playing while I was stopped to look at this was Walk Like an Egyptian. This was a cool sign that said Snoopy's Hot Dogs and More. Here's a cool copper bed warmer listed for $98. These look like bags of smoking pellets, maybe? I couldn't get much closer to look. This was a cool barber's chair, listed for $1,450. Here we see a 7.5-foot tall statue of a Scottish man, listed for $2,220. This caught my eye because it's so beautiful with the tile inlay and intricate carving on it. I believe the tag said that it was a sideboard from India that was hand painted, with tiles and wooden wheels. This item was listed for $1,650. This carved piece was stunning and still had remnants of the red, green, and gold paint on it. Red hand-carved painted doors and side panels and was listed for $1,650. I couldn't read the word after painted, but it started with an M. This is the Ford booth. The tag for this clock just read alarm clock, originally $16, marked down to $7. This booth was decorated very differently than the other booths. These shelves were very tall, maybe 10 to 11 feet. This chocolate pot was listed for $12. My daughter is really into cars right now, so I was looking to see if anything that would strike her interest. These hood emblems were really cool, listed for $25, and they were metal. This Fairlane emblem was listed for $5. Oops, gotta put it back the way it was. This bowl caught my eye, and I wanted to see if there was a mark on the bottom of it. Nope, just read handmade bowl, $25. Lots of little knickknacks over here. This elephant is colorful and had a very long trunk. This is a beautiful cherry wood grandfather clock that was listed for $5,469. This is a World War II officer's armory shirt and was listed for $72. This one is a World War II U.S. Army enlisted wool shirt for $69. This is a World War II Army khaki shirt with patches for $55. This is a vintage Thomasville, North Carolina police shirt for $33. There was a really cool gas can here. I wanted to get a closer look, but there was a man there that was really eyeing me down. I think he thought I was filming him. Nope, just interested in the gas can, sir. These glass cabinets had absolutely everything, with no rhyme or reason to them. The song You're So Vain was playing, and there were 4 women walking around singing at the top of their lungs, which was pretty funny. The pink sign says, Coins and Confederate Bills, Video Surveillance. I love the original flooring still in this building. The booth across from the cabinets had some cool guitars. This white one is a Hundo bass guitar listed for $195, and the tag says that it has been tested. This is a Weston Model 370 Animeter listed for $70. This case had a lot of Lionel train cars for the collectors out there. They had a lot here. Cute doggo statues. This is a Knight KG620 ohm meter listed for $45. There were a lot of cool collectibles in this glass case here. This is pumpkin butter, listed for $6.95. Million Dollar pickles and pickled beets. A couple of different apple butters here, and a caramel pecan apple butter, pear jam, blueberry jam, elderberry jam, strawberry rhubarb jam, strawberry jam, peach jam, blackberry jam, and some pure mountain honey. This booth spoke to my fall heart. There were some fun pumpkin heads listed for $9.95. Yummy candles. This is a 1950s brown glazed mini pot for $9.95. I didn't get to smell the candles, but I wanted to. This pumpkin-headed doll was labeled Emerson. Some more candles that sounded good. This wooden pumpkin was $11.95. This pumpkin sign was $10.95. This is a green handle pastry blender for $12.95. This is a cute red wagon listed for $24.95. This wooden bowl is $42.95. And some pretty faux flowers. This is a silk spool cabinet listed for $550. I thought the drawers were cool with the holes in the ends. I don't know what they were for, but the cabinet was in good shape. This is from the Winstead Silk Company in Chicago. There were some porcelain women for $10. This was a candle holder for $15. These quilts were handmade for $225 for both, 94 inches by 74 inches. Plate was from Carolina Beach for $2. This is a Catawba Valley pottery crock, 4 gallons for $150. These are vintage Harley-Davidson saddlebags. They were asking $450 for the pair. This is a Sterling and Noble mantel clock for $22. This is one of the coolest things that I saw. This is a 1950s deluxe Speedomatic with the original finish. Original asking price was $800, but it had been marked down to I think $595. The kid would sit in it and pedal the mechanism inside to move the car around. Just beautiful. They had some pretty glassware. This was a cool vintage Army Jeep, I believe listed for $64. An old pinball game. There was a blinking sign, and we'll get to that in a minute. There was a cool Sears motor randomly back here. Some old sleds. This was a cool How to Use Spices cookbook. Looks like there was a newspaper clipping in here. Old butter molds for $39 and $28. Cool glass spice jars. This was a very pretty setup. They were asking $95 for the set. I love milk glass. It's so pretty. This was an old ox bell, an early copper teapot, and an early perfection kitchen scale. This building is so big. This is the old elevator that they used to move the goods from one floor to the next. This is a collection of hardware. A crystal doorknob listed for $16, a pool ball for $5, the faucet handle for $4, and another crystal doorknob for $16 again. This is a small insulator for $3.50. Lamp parts for $1.50. This is a rusty doorknob for $5. A white doorknob for $5. Old iron casters for $8.50. A metal fleur-de-lis for $8.50. A brown glass doorknob for $10. These are old door plates for $14.50. This looks like an old door latch for $4. This one still has the handle on it. Old brass number tags for $5. Italian chandelier crystals for $4.50. And opalescent teardrops for $5. Various metal letters. This is a jar of stuff. And that gave me a giggle. These stools caught my eye. They were just labeled as old iron stool for $199. I felt like these signs reflected my home pretty accurately. This bowl is just listed as bowl for $8.50. This is a Royal Tudor Ware Coaching Tavern's cereal bowl for $11. The mark on the back says 1828. This camera is $39. This is a vintage waffle maker for $25. I love hand-blown glass, so these pumpkins caught my eye immediately. This is labeled as a pretty hand-blown blue and white pumpkin for $35. There was another one behind it labeled as pretty hand-blown art pumpkin for $38. This was labeled as unique comic figurine with telescope for $18.99. This plate set is listed as Johnson Brothers Harvest Dinner for $24. I found this white hand-blown pumpkin for $55. It was quite a bit bigger than the other two. This is a University of North Carolina Signa-Chi beer mug for $24. Little Wagner cast iron mini skillet ashtray for $14. This says I Heart Vermont. This is the world's largest matchbook for $12. This is their clearance section. They had metal tiles for $2 each. Some old Bloom's Farmers and Planters almanacs from various years. I believe these were $1 each. This is an old moonshine jar for $10. This was a cool green bottle for $4. You could even buy the stairs for $350. I think these were parts of a fishing pole, maybe. They were plastic. An old blue chair for $8. A corn husk basket for $8. An old cheese box for $10. This was made for making shoes for $20. This table was $65. This booth had a variety of old greeting cards. This bunch were old birthday cards. Congratulations on your new baby. This was a thinking of you card. This was a spool of vintage beaded garland for $9. And an old Happy Holidays Keebler elf tin from 1995. This booth was a lot of fun. Halloween blow molds. I had to check out the Mickey one for $95. This tabletop guy was $68. This vintage Don Featherstone Happy Halloween blow mold was marked for $395. This tabletop cat with pumpkin was $68. The inside of this booth had several Christmas blow molds. The pair of these candle blow molds from the 1960s and was listed for $58. This Empire tabletop Santa was $35. The Santa behind him was listed for $64. The snowman was listed for $275. I really liked the gingerbread one there in the middle, but I couldn't get to him. This mushroom was cool and listed for $89. This pumpkin was really neat and was listed for $42. I liked the reindeer parking blow mold in the back, but again, I couldn't get to it. This was listed as an early engineer's toolbox for $199.99. Very well built, but the lid was very heavy. The interior dividers were movable and pretty heavy as well. An old tin for $14.95. Was listed as a 1907 Dietz Night Driver's Friend Type A oil lantern used on carriages for $79.99. This was listed as an AECO Weston DC voltmeter for telephone testing, and it was selling for $89.99. Old telephones. I've shown these to my daughter before and had to explain how to use them. This is a 1940s automatic electric company monophone wall mount extension telephone, Bakelite, for $129.99. An old framed comic listed for $149.99. This is a vintage leather doctor's bag for $79.99. This is a vintage Stewart Brothers Model A cable tester and locator for $49.99. This is a GE leather tube case for $89.99. It was empty. There were some cool 1940s carnival ride light fixtures that had been rewired, and they were asking $499.99 each. This wall of plates caught my attention. This was a numbered plate, part of the original Toby plate collection from England. This was listed for $10. some pretty floral plates. And then this one caught my eye. This was listed as Indian glass for $20. A plate from the National Military Park. These old ads were fun to look through. This first one was labeled as being from 1907 from the Cosmopolitan magazine. Next, again, was 1907 from Cosmopolitan magazine. The "Are You Too Thin" ad gave me a laugh, again from 1907. This one was from March 1912. And there was no date on this one. I could have stayed here a lot longer flipping through these ads. An old Kodak film can for $5. This was a World War II Allied blackout lantern for $150. Antique storage bin, pine leather hinges listed for $225. These are labeled as vintage busts for $14. That armchair looked really comfy. This string art piece was really cool on red velvet background. Made by Clarence Benmont. Christmas of '74, listed for $18. A driftwood tray for $24. Homemade pottery vase for $14. This blue mug is labeled 1943 and was selling for $8. These were some really nice bare lamps for $38.20 each. Would be cute in a log cabin. This was a heavy metal bell with a man handle for $14.08. Kind of odd pricing. This glass bottle had raised dots and it reminded me of Hobnob. This was also listed for $14.08. This is an old tobacco basket listed for $129. Tobacco baskets were originally used in the 1800s to transport tobacco leaves from the drying sheds to the tobacco market. This just says brown wood bar stools, $129 for the pair. This tag says half pint. Federal law forbids sale of vintage bottle listed for $12, and a pint. Federal law forbids sale. Vintage bottle, $14. Maybe these were from the Prohibition era, and that's why that's stamped on these bottles. This weight block was very heavy. I honestly could barely pick it up. This was marked down to $15, and I was hoping that there was a weight listed on the bottom. This is a branding iron for $49.20. I thought this gold octagon candle holder was attached to the wooden piece underneath. I thought that would make a cool coffee table piece, but they were separate. I was actually looking for some potential candle holders, but these weren't what I was looking for. Horse bookends listed for $22.20. This seller likes ending things in 20 cents. This is a trunk up black elephant kneeling listed for $14.33. These were a cool set of metal keys for $18, and they were pretty heavy. A metal skeleton key for $7. I love this. I know a lot of people collect old oil cans, and this one was listed for $6. This sewing machine oil can was listed for $15. Here's an old Astor coffee can tagged for $8. Various lanterns. This one was tagged Adams and Westlake Company Railroad Lantern, $95. This was a cool old birdcage stand for $58, and the birdcage itself was tagged for $12. This is an extra large handmade basket with rope handles for $48. This is a bird cage with stand for $85. And here's an old duffel bag marked for $28. This train set was $12. This horseshoe cowboy was $15. These hot air balloon windmills were really cool, tagged at $40. This jingle bell was tagged for $25. This is a Peterborough basket for $28 with a wood lid and had an interesting sloped shape. Large white and red enamel pot with lid for $18. Helms Railroad Amber Jar Tobacco Snuff for $75. So, we're back home, as you can see. I went in with the intentions of just looking and browsing and not really buying anything, but I bought stuff. So, 6 things actually. I thought we would do a quick little mini haul on the end of this video just to kind of show what I got. So, I'm going to start off with the things that I got from my daughter. I made two purchases for her. Right now, she is super into World War II and cars. So, I saw this book while we were there, and I sent her a text asking if she would like it. And it was a resounding yes, please. So this book came home with me. This is The American GI in Europe in World War II, The March to D-Day. It was $10.50. I was trying to see if there was like an original price on it, but I'm sure it was not $10.50. This is a hardback book. Anyway, so this is for her. And she'll be very excited to receive that. The next thing I picked up for her is this Mach 1 emblem. This is not metal, this is like a plastic, but I don't know what she's going to do with it. She doesn't know I got it for her yet, but I'm sure she will find something super cool. She'll probably put it on her door. Very cool though. It might be metal. I don't think so. I think it's plastic. Anyway, this was $12. So I'm excited for her to get that. Next thing I purchased is wrapped up. I did get a couple of things for possible, well, one's definitely a future video that I am personally very excited for. I've been kind of gathering things for a little while now for it. There we go. This is also, I think, really cool. Obviously, I bought it. Let's see if I can get it out. There it is. It's pretty heavy. It's metal, I'm assuming cast iron. And I showed this in the video. It's a skeleton key. How cool is that? That's very fun. Look at that detail. I loved that. I'm a big Halloween fan, so not necessarily like gore and stuff like that, but just fun little decor items. This next item is definitely for a video. I hope you're going to enjoy the video as much as I'm going to just totally nerd out and love making every bit of it. But I'm not going to say what the video is, but bottle caps might be a bit of a giveaway. If you know, you know. So I have an assortment of bottle caps. A little bit of a larger clue is these are not Nuka-Cola bottle caps. Didn't find those, but they are actual bottle caps. So they had larger bags of them, but I think for the video, all I'm going to need is these. There are 25 in here, and I got them for $3. I'm very excited for this. Very excited. Next is for another possible video, and I will say what this one is. So I hope that you will enjoy this video if we do it. If not, that's no big deal. I can give this away, but to like family. Maybe my dad would want it. This is a milk glass shaving mug. It was $10. I thought a shaving video might be fun. And I would not be able to get a nice shaving mug for $10 on Amazon. Well, I mean, I could, but not like this. This is beautiful. This is heavy glass. I was very excited to pick this up. That was pretty cool. And last thing I purchased is a food item. Every year, almost every year, we didn't this year yet, but almost every year, my daughter and I make strawberry jam over the summer. And then in the fall, we make butters. Not dairy. We make apple butter. Sometimes in the summer, I'll make a peach butter, which is really nice. But this is a pumpkin butter. I don't recall ever having pumpkin butter, so I thought I would give it a try. I mean, what's not to like? If I do like it, I can maybe make some this fall and can it. But the ingredients are pumpkin puree, cane sugar, cinnamon, lemon juice concentrate, nutmeg, ginger, allspice cloves, and a little bit of salt. The butters in general, apple butter, peach butter, pumpkin butter, are basically just like fall in a jar, and they're so good. Although I haven't had this yet, but I'm familiar with this idea, concept, recipe, base. So I'm sure this will be phenomenal. So that is all I purchased today. I had such a good time. I love going there. As you saw, they literally have everything, everything you could want. And I was only there for about 4 hours today, and there's no way I saw even a tenth of what they have. But it is a bit of a hike for me to get there and back home, so I couldn't spend too much time, but it's always a good time to go and kind of poke around. I hope you enjoyed our little field trip. If you're interested in doing other field trips, maybe I can do some, but these guys are happy that I'm home, so I hope you enjoyed. and I hope to see you back next week.